I didn't know that I was going to have to work on my salsa. Thank you. Is my mic on? Can you hear me? Not yet? It's on here. Hello? You can hear me now? Okay, great. When you listen to the other speakers, I didn't know what Jay was going to say. I didn't know what Mercedes was going to say. And I just have to share a few thoughts. And let's start with Mercedes. She was talking about tension. And in nuclear engineering, the submarine force, Admiral Rickover taught us something. He said, there's no motion without friction. If there's no friction under my shoes, I wouldn't be walking right now. If your car is stuck in the ice and your tires are spinning, there's no friction, there's no motion. And the same thing is true about life. If there's no tension, there's no growth. And so it's tension that helps us grow. And by the way, I want to say, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all the people who are listening virtually, and recognize and thank you for being here. So tension is critical. And where's the clicker for the slides? Does anybody know? This thing? Okay. I don't know which way that goes. Jay said something interesting. He said, the universe that surrounds us is within us. We are all a part of everything, everywhere, all at once. Sounds like that movie, right? But it's true. The air we breathe, the water we drink, it's 98 to 99% the same. Our DNA is 99.999999% the same. So if you look at ourselves biologically and physically, we're less than 1 in 1 billion parts different. Less than 1 in 1 billion parts physically and biologically different. Our thoughts are being sent around the world in a fraction of a second, transcending time and space. The frontal cortex is sending and receiving and processing, right? We are connected with the air, the water we breathe, in the animal kingdom, everything, everywhere, all at once. But yet, we're completely unique, right? What part of us is different? Somebody tell me, what part of us is completely unique if we're less than 1 in 1 billion parts biologically, physically different? Has anybody got an answer? Huh? Our mind. It's invisible. Our spirit, our soul, whatever, use the word you want. But it's our mind. And our mind is the regulator of our brain and our body. And we're all here because there's something very unique about us. We care. We have hearts. We're purpose-driven. You're very unique. Yesterday, when I did the workshop, I asked questions, and I've done this with thousands and thousands of people. And the percentage of people who raised their hands on these purpose-driven, heart-centered, know thyself kind of questions was more than double, if not triple, the results of a standard audience. So we're very unique. And I'm here to tell you that our mission is to help educate and empower and amplify your heart-centered, purpose-driven businesses. But I'm going to start by telling a story. How do you push? What's that? What was that beep? Okay, green. There we go. Mercedes said, what is your story? What was your leadership lesson? Oh, excuse me. I got a little bit of numb tongue. Anybody remember Star Trek when Scotty gave him the shot and he got numb tongue? Well, he'd talk like this. So I'm being vulnerable here. Last night eating a steak, I bit my tongue and it really hurt. So I'm trying not to bite my tongue again. When I was the CEO of EY, I had a terrible accident. I broke my neck. And I had a complete existential crisis. I had a near-death experience. And it took me 6 months to learn how to walk and talk and chew gum again. And laying in bed, they took bone out of my hip to put my neck back together. My trachea was all in the wrong spot. I had crushed a bunch of nerves in my body. And I could just lay there in bed, and I couldn't really talk. I couldn't move, and I just stared at the plaster. and I smelled the flowers. There was a lot of flowers. I kind of looked around at all the cards, and my family came in, and they tried to make me happy. And they talked about going to Australia. I didn't go to Australia with them. I was doing a Shell merger. And then they'd come in and they talked about going to the Great Wall. And I didn't go on that trip either. I think I was doing the ExxonMobil merger, leading that. And tears started rolling down my cheeks. And I just wanted them to leave. I'm getting a little choked up now. This is 25 years ago. And I laid in bed and I thought, what is wrong with me? Why did I not go on a vacation to the Great Wall or, with my family? And the bottom line was that I was very confused. I thought that who I am is what I did, a job, a title. I thought that money made me happy. I thought that the purpose of life was to retire and play golf at Station 401k. Right? I was really messed up. And that was the socially imposed mask that was placed upon me. And I was like a puppet living in a world, right? You don't want to be in that world. So I was so driven and so determined that this was not my identity, that I didn't ever want anyone to have to go through the pain and suffering that I went through to realize your true, authentic self. And so I've spent 20 years, culminating in creating the Messenger Institute about 8 years ago. And my purpose and mission for more than 15 years has been written in those words on my website: to cultivate a community of authentic people using your gifts and powers to inspire hope, foster balance, expand consciousness, and unleash human potential. Every single one of you is a being of unlimited power and potential. The only thing that is stopping you is yourself, is your own mind and your own thoughts and beliefs, limiting beliefs. But you're also stopped by pain and trauma, people that have filled you with blame, shame, guilt, persecution, betrayal, whatever it is. And so my mission has been to empower, somebody said it somewhere, how are you measuring your success? That's been my goal, to empower and help 500 purpose-driven leaders deliver $50 million in revenue and help 5 million people. So I call it 555, So that's my why, and that's why I'm here. And I've been using that picture with the hand dropping the seed, and I've been saying all the same things that Jay and Graham have been saying. And when they invited me here about 5 years ago, it's like we come from the same mold. We're saying the same things. And so when he asked me and Graham if I would help them, I said to Rand earlier, I didn't have to think of it for a second. I'm like, yes, let's combine forces. Let's share knowledge and wisdom. So our why is exactly the same thing, but it's not about me or someone else. It's about you. It's about helping you go through your journey to discover your true, authentic self, to empower you, to give you the confidence, faith, and courage, to teach you the tools and methods and practices so that you can be a force for good. And as been measured, we want to help get 1 million people listed, but we want to get a couple 100,000 partners that we're helping to amplify. And that's how we measure our success. So I'm going to be talking to you about our mission, as Jay said, to educate, empower, and amplify. And so first I want to do is talk about education and empowerment. And I'm going to mention 3 things, maybe 4. We've been working for a long time, many months, if not years, on creating the pathway for a Do More Good leader, and we call that the Traveler's Path, and it's a 4-year journey, and I'm going to show that to you. We're going to launch weekly circles, and I'll talk more about that, and we've got upcoming courses that are a part of our Traveler's Path curriculum, and a couple that we're ready to launch is the one that Mercedes has, and another one with Helen. So let's talk about the Traveler's Path. The Traveler's Path is a 4-year journey. The first year is what we call explorers. An explorer is somebody who's thinking about it. Who are you? What is this? Why do I care? How do you measure it? What are their case studies? What are the lessons learned? So it's sort of like you're exploring, you're thinking. Year 2, we call it 200 level series. It's like college, right? 100, 200, 300, 400. So the 200 series is the pioneer phase. The pioneer phase, you're done thinking and you want to start designing. And so you're going to design this, and then year 3 is now you're going to build it. So you're a trailblazer, and year 4, you've built it. Now you're a guardian. You're embracing the legacy. You're creating employee-owned organizations and so forth. So each year is broken into 3 quarters, and each quarter has about 3 modules. So it's about 36 courses. And so you've heard some people today, and you're going to meet more, who have, various programs. And what we want to do is build sort of like the architecture of what the whole journey looks like and help you sequence them. So Explorers is, the 100 series, Pioneers 200, Trailblazer 300, Guardians 400. And so we're going to be rolling that out. So it's going to take us a few more months to finish sort of the first phase, the 100 series, but some of you are already way down into the 300 or 400 series. So during my presentation, you're going to see it keeps popping up that says sign up, learn more. So at the end of my speech, you're going to be able to click on a QR code and select any of the things that I'm talking about that you want to learn more about. And I please encourage you to do that. One of the things we're going to have is we're going to start weekly circles. And this is, starting in the summer. We're building a whole new platform to launch all these new courses. And a weekly circle is a support community. We all need each other, and we all have lessons to share, but most importantly, it's just somebody to talk to, right? I mean, doesn't it make you feel better right now being around people that are like-minded in spirit to just share your stories and talk? It's like a family. We need that. And so the weekly circles will go on for about 48 weeks a year, skipping the holidays. And they're going to include various topics of, the elements of the traveler's path. It's not going to be the curriculum. It's just going to be, discussion community. So today, let's talk about inclusivity. Let's talk about, it's an open mic kind of platform. Okay. So that's what the weekly circles are. If you're a partner, individual or corporate, you're going to get 1 free seat. And if you're not, then you could become a partner and get a free seat, or there'll be a nominal fee. And we haven't figured out exactly what that fee is going to be yet. You just met Mercedes. Mercedes has a course, and this course is all set and it's ready to go. It's going to start on March 27th. It's called the Leadership Journey. And the Leadership Journey is made up of 20 weeks. It's got 15 different modules. It's a combination of group, calls and self-paced modules. And coaching, I think, is an option. And you have all the curriculum that she was talking about. I think, as you can tell, I love what Mercedes says. It's all about being human-centered, right? We're people. And we all have, our strengths and our weaknesses and our fallacies. And it's okay to be vulnerable. So it's okay to have numb tongue. It's okay to dance, just being human. And I love that about Mercedes. And, she really brings out the heart in each of us. And so consider that the space is limited. There's not a lot of slots available, and we want to keep that course small. So again, click on the survey if you're interested so we can connect you to that program. The next program that we have ready to launch is with Helen Fagan. This one isn't online yet, but Helen is amazing. Is Helen here? There you are. All right. Raise your hand and your whole team. Helen has, the program is about becoming inclusive, but it's so much more than that. I mean, here's like all the different books, and it's guidebook 1 is about learning about vulnerability, the industry dilemma, memories of pain and trauma, how to shift your perspective, getting comfortable with change, the path to culture and competence, how to develop courage and humility. You get the idea? I mean, I like the colors too. It's amazing. And so what we're going to do, since we're just getting started, being fully transparent here, we're developing this. We've developed the Traveler's Path. We've developed the 4 years outline. We know the content we want. And so we're looking for people to help us fill in the gaps and create more programs. So sign up if you're interested in learning about that. So that was the educate and empowerment aspect. And I want to emphasize empowerment. Somebody tell me, what does it mean to be empowered? What does empowerment mean? Anybody? Agency to act. Empowerment is about you becoming confident and courageous, about becoming authentic, knowing yourself, standing in your power, knowing what you believe in. Autonomy. How can you be a do more good leader if you first haven't come to terms with who you are and what you stand for and what you believe? Develop the confidence and courage to speak and stand in your power and share your truth, right? That's empowerment. We all need that. Now, amplification, is that up there? Okay, right. So amplification means we want to help promote you. So we've got publications we're going to start and a call for authors. We've got our monthly roundtables, and we want to ask you to be a part of that. We've got our ROI of Why podcast. We're going to call for collaborators and workshop facilitators, and we want to get you in the benefit directory. So let me go a little more detail now. So we have our own imprint, and our publisher is sitting right here. Raise your hand, Phil. If you're an author and you've got a book and you would like to get that published because you think it supports and promotes part of the do more good mindsets and attributes and pillars and causes, then please see Phil or click on the link, and we're going to have a group call about that. In the group call, we're going to explain the approaches. There's bring your own manuscript. It's all set. It's ready. You don't need ghostwriting. You don't need development editing. That's fine. Or if you do, we call it A to Z. We'll do it all. Or if you're all finished, we want to put together an anthology of several stories, weaving together how we had different lives, and all of a sudden we, tell our true stories and our journeys, and all of a sudden we meet here. Why did we meet here? So it's sort of like it's like fiction, but it's not fiction, right? And the royalties are going to be split. It shows there. If you have some of the books printed, you'll get 100% of those royalties. If we sell the books together online through ebooks and podcasts, we split the revenue 50-50. And if we sell the books on our website, then the author gets 30%. For anybody who knows anything about author royalties, that is really, really generous. Okay, so please contact us if you're an author or a thought leader and you want to be published or have your story shared. We're going to have to do an application process because it's not like we could publish 20 books in 1 year. Maybe 3 or 4. 10? Okay, yeah, like I said, 10. Call for collaborators. What is a collaborator? First, I've said this before, but we're looking for people who are practitioners or thought leaders, and you've got content and you think it's going to fit somewhere in the 4-year traveler's path. Please click and tell us, and let's talk. The second thing is we want to share the message of the foundational curriculum, like Jay did this morning. My numb tongue got in the way. Jay did this morning. What is this movement? Why do we care? What are the key elements and causes? So if you are interested in becoming a trained facilitator to then share that message in your company or in your Chamber of Commerce or Rotary or wherever, then please sign up. So practitioners or facilitators. Next thing is a call for amplifiers. How can we amplify your story? Let's do a podcast. Let's do a video. Let's promote you on the website. Let's get you listed in the directory. So how can we help amplify you and your story? In closing, I want to remind you that your thoughts is what you become. What you think is who you are and who you will become. So, like Disney said, if you can dream it, you can build it. Einstein said imagination was more important than knowledge. Einstein also said that when you think about things, the things you think about change. He was talking science, physics. when we think of an object, the molecular structure of that object is changing. There's a nuclear engineer in me coming out, right? But I love Gandhi's is the best, right? What our beliefs become our thoughts, which becomes our words, which becomes our deeds, which becomes our behaviors, which becomes our destiny. So the most important thing is for you to work on your inner game, because your inner game of thoughts and beliefs becomes your outer game of behaviors and actions. And so that's where the empowerment comes in. And in closing, I just want to encourage you to believe. Believe. Believe in this movement and join and help us, educate you, empower you, and amplify you. Okay, thank you very much. That's all I got.